Ariel Adams here with ablogtoread.com. Here's an interesting watch from a company you've probably never heard of, especially if you haven't really been into watches in Europe. This company is SARO-Gem, and this particular model is the BuonGusto 43 Jubile. It is a watch that has many different forms, meaning that all these different colors in the bezel sort of vary, as well as the strap. This particular one is in steel with a healthy amount of black PVD as well as gold PVD. The gold tone here on the bezel, these pushers, as well as the clasp here is in a rose gold PVD. To be honest, the rose gold PVD, if you didn't know any better, does look basically like gold. Of course, it's going to be a little bit lighter because it's a tone application over the steel, but it's still pretty good look. If you look closely at the dial here, you can see it's sort of a dark red and sparkles. Those sparkles are gold dust, and has sort of this deep amber, almost sort of constellation type of look there. It's very, very nice and very, very subtle. 8 of the hour markers are diamonds. Those are real diamonds. And the movement is a Valjo 7750 automatic chronograph movement. Very, very nicely decorated. You can see the SARO-Gem signed rotor. The movement enjoys a lot of perlage polishing, as well as the blued steel screws. This is one of the nicer 7750 movements that I've ever really had the pleasure of seeing. The strap here, if you don't know what that is, that's galushat, which is, in other words, stingray skin. Controversial for some people. The look, again, is also controversial. It's interesting. It has sort of a rough texture and also has that sort of shine to it, which I think is why it's so popular. This bezel here is called the 12 half moon bezel. SARO-Gem likes to call these little indentations here half moons, and I can totally appreciate that. The integration of the chronograph is very, very well done. The subdials are recessed just a little bit and have a nice sort of silver tone edge to the dials there. You can see the seconds hand moving around there. The hands are very easy to read, covered in superluminova. I find that the night legibility of this is pretty good given the amount of lume applied. There's also, of course, the date indicator, which is put there. I'm a pretty big fan of this watch, actually. I didn't know what I would think of it, because seeing the pictures of some of these watches make them look a little bit avant-garde for my taste. But when I put it on, I realized that it was, in fact, a very handsome watch. Before I do put it on, I want you to notice there on the lugs, you have these small S's for SARO-Gem that are sort of applied there. SARO-Gem really got famous because what they were able to do is have a special sapphire on steel treatment. This watch doesn't have it, but a lot of their other watches do, where you have a coating of sapphire over the steel bracelets that made them extremely hard, very, very scratch resistant. And I don't think anyone else does that. So that's sort of their claim to fame, if you've ever heard of that. You can tell that this is a really classy watch, sort of sporty, also a little sort of glitzy and glammy, but at the same time, it is understated because it is a very straightforward design that uses some more luxurious elements to them. A watch like this would retail at about $4,000. They can go up way above that because you can get a lot more fancy materials and, of course, that special bracelet like I was talking about. But I think it's a good value because you get a nice design. It's very well made. The movement is just really well decorated. And from a functional perspective, it works really well. The size is 43 millimeters. Overall, I'm a big fan. Again, this is the SARO-Gem BuonGusto 43 Jubile. See the full review at ablogtoread.com. Thanks.